Angeles. What a night there for the Browns. 30-10 over the Panthers. Shadur Sanders, 14-23, buck 38, 2 touchdowns through the air. Opportunity.
Shadur Sanders kind of went out there and did everything that he was supposed to do to earn more reps. Preseason is to get out there, showcase your abilities, control, operate the whole offensive system from the play call, checks, different things, and then move forward.
My expectations have absolutely changed. Absolutely. My expectations have changed because a lot of what we're hearing from Cleveland has changed. Again,
the information that was out on Shadur Sanders came from a lot of people that a lot of people trust and people think that are credible.
And it's that branding, bro, being a walking business brand. He's a 5th-round pick, and he generated damn near well over $300 million already in merchandise sales.
What happens when the NFL doubts you before you've even thrown a pass? That's the reality Shadur Sanders walked into the moment his name was called on draft day. He wasn't the hand-picked heir that fans anoint as a franchise savior, nor was he the media darling carrying the golden label of can't miss. Instead, Sanders entered the league wearing a target on his back, branded more as a product of hype and a famous last name than as a quarterback ready to battle with grown men on Sunday. But football has a way of exposing the truth. The bright lights don't lie. When Sanders stepped onto the field in Charlotte for his first NFL preseason action, the noise surrounding his career didn't just follow him, it threatened to define him. Critics said the league would humble him in minutes. Skeptics swore the spotlight would shrink him. And fans wondered whether he was built for this stage at all. What happened next wasn't just a performance, it was the kind of opening statement that rewrites narratives in real time.
9 drives. We said 14-23, pair of touchdowns, no interceptions. Did take a couple of those, extended kind of drop and try to get himself out of trouble and out of pressure.
The Cleveland Browns didn't crown Shadur Sanders a savior. They didn't risk a top pick or place their franchise hopes in his hands. Instead, they traded up in the 5th round, 144th overall, for what many called a flyer. The analysts didn't hold back. Some said he was drafted more for jersey sales than playmaking, more for headlines than for huddles. He was labeled a marketing machine, a walking business brand, and a social media quarterback before he ever suited up. That reputation was heavy enough to crush players with weaker resolve. But in the NFL, draft position is just an entry point. It doesn't guarantee opportunity, and it doesn't guarantee respect. Sanders wasn't offered a throne, only a chance. For every late-round pick who blossoms, there are dozens forgotten before the season even starts. That's why his preseason debut mattered more than most realized. It wasn't just about running plays, it was about proving he belonged. And here's the thing. If you're watching this breakdown right now, you're seeing how those narratives are challenged in real time. Before we go deeper, let me pause for one thing. This channel is building a community of fans who love the stories beneath the stats. If you're here for breakdowns that go beyond the box score, if you want analysis that mixes the technical with the dramatic, then hit that subscribe button, drop a like, and leave your take in the comments. Every interaction helps us push against the noise just like Sanders did. Now let's keep going.
It's a 3rd and long, and he delivers a strike. That's when it was kind of like, okay, that's a big NFL throw. Here he is back in his own end zone.
I love that one. Yeah.
Nice deep in cut. And it's right on the money. That is a big-time NFL throw.
In football, opportunity rarely knocks politely. It usually sneaks in through chaos, and that's exactly what happened for Shadur Sanders. Cleveland's quarterback room wasn't designed for him to lead in August. Joe Flacco was the seasoned veteran holding the pencil crown. Kenny Pickett and Dylan Gabriel were splitting practice reps, and Sanders was expected to sit quietly, study film, and maybe see a few snaps late in games that didn't matter. But then the injuries hit. Hamstrings sidelined Pickett and Gabriel, suddenly shifting the balance of power. The Browns needed someone to take the reins, and Sanders' number was called. This wasn't a gift. It was a trial. Preseason isn't just practice for young quarterbacks. It's a job interview broadcast live, every throw graded, every decision amplified. For Sanders, this wasn't about throwing pretty spirals. It was about showing command of the playbook, proving he could process NFL speed, and displaying the poise that separates a camp arm from a future starter. The moment was heavy, and he knew it. When the play calls came through his headset, he wasn't just relaying information. He was auditioning for a career.
Nice job picking up the blitz. Sanders throws. Touchdown. Davis again.
And then the lights came on. On his first series, Sanders showed what scouts had questioned: composure under duress. The Panthers sent pressure, and instead of folding, Sanders adjusted protections, identified blitz pickups, and delivered on-time throws. By the end of the half, his stat line read like something out of a veteran's playbook: 14 completions on 23 attempts, 138 yards, and 2 touchdowns with 0 interceptions. But numbers don't tell the full story. His decision-making did. The highlight moments weren't just about arm strength. On a 3rd and long, Sanders zipped a strike into the tightest of windows, the kind of NFL-level throw coaches replay in film rooms to show this is what it looks like. Later, pinned near his own end zone, he dropped back, scanned the field, and delivered a deep dig route with perfect timing, threading it past 2 defenders. These weren't flukes. They were the throws of a quarterback who wasn't playing scared, but playing with vision. By halftime, the critics who expected him to collapse were left scrambling for new excuses.
Completion here. This is Brendan Bates off play action, 25-yard catch. Nice throw with the defender kind of in the vision.
Yeah, he kind of had to throw that out of a well. He's kind of blind, did not have a clear view, and made a nice, accurate throw.
Finishes today 14 of 23, 138 passing yards and 2 touchdowns.
When the final whistle blew on that first half, one thing was certain: the narrative had shifted. For months, pundits had claimed Sanders was a product of hype, a surname that sold merchandise but not wins. That night, the film disagreed. The throws he made weren't marketing, they were craft. His mechanics stayed compact, his reads stayed sharp, and his poise under pressure silenced the loudest doubts. If he had faltered, timelines across the league would have been dancing on his downfall. Instead, the silence from critics was deafening. Football has always been about proof on tape. You can't fake ball placement on a sideline throw. You can't fake reading a blitz. And you can't fake layering a pass over a linebacker and under a safety. Sanders didn't just survive NFL speed, he commanded it. And the irony? The same voices who dismissed him as hype are now moving goalposts, downplaying his debut as just preseason. But anyone who understands the stakes knows better. A quarterback doesn't control narratives with words. He does it with decisions under fire. Sanders did that, and the noise around him cracked.
How would you grade your performance today?
I would say a C+.
C+?
Yeah. It's passing. It's passing because we got the win. You know, that's first and foremost, and that's extremely important. But, you know.
This wasn't just about a football game. It was a cultural flashpoint. The reactions poured in almost instantly. Deion Sanders, his father and Coach Prime, lit up social media with short, powerful posts that needed no explanation. Yes. Oh, yes. What now? LeBron James, a figure whose opinion echoes far beyond basketball, praised Sanders' poise and leadership, effectively shifting the conversation from niche preseason chatter into mainstream dialogue. Overnight, a rookie quarterback became a trending topic not just in sports but across culture. And make no mistake, this matters. For a young black quarterback dismissed as a brand first, player second, every snap carried weight beyond the scoreboard. Sanders' performance wasn't just a win for Cleveland's depth chart. It was a statement against decades of coded criticism that often meets quarterbacks who don't fit the traditional mold. By stepping into his first NFL action and answering with precision, discipline, and confidence, Sanders flipped that script. His performance wasn't hype, it was heritage in the making.
Shedeur was my 20th player. He's a first-round caliber player. Like, talent-wise, both those guys, I think, have a huge advantage over Kenny Pickett. Kenny Pickett has to be light years better.
He's an actual proven talent. He's proven that every single team you put him on, he becomes better.
For the Browns, the implications are immediate. Officially, Joe Flacco is still quarterback one, the veteran placeholder with experience and respect. Behind him, Pickett and Gabriel are expected to return healthy, while Tyler Huntley waits in reserve. On paper, Sanders is just a rookie with limited reps. But football isn't played on paper, it's played on film, and film doesn't lie. Sanders just put together a performance that forces every coach in Cleveland to take a longer look. Reps aren't gifts, they're currency, and Sanders just minted his own supply. What happens next? Sanders won't be handed the starting job tomorrow, but he doesn't need to be. Every clean drive, every sharp read, every precise throw shifts the quarterback room. Suddenly, competition feels real where it once felt scripted. Preseason isn't about winning the job outright. It's about making yourself impossible to ignore. And Sanders did exactly that. Coaches will notice, teammates will notice, the league will notice.
Off the play fake, Shadur Sanders into the traffic.
Man, listen, Shedeur is, we talked about it, Earl. He's talented. Like, he has all the talent and ability you want. He has the leadership qualities you need.
He still broke records that your Pro Bowler and Super Bowl contestants haven't even touched in the NFL level.
Preseason is often dismissed as meaningless, but for players like Sanders, it's the most honest test there is. Strip away the headlines, the last name, the hype. What remains is execution. And the truth of that night in Charlotte was simple. Sanders delivered. He didn't sell hope. He showed poise. He didn't rely on flash. He relied on timing. He didn't play like a rookie overwhelmed by the moment. He played like a quarterback ready to grow into the role. That's the foundation of something real. So here's the bigger question. If this is the floor for Sanders, his first live action against NFL speed, what happens when the playbook fully opens? When chemistry with receivers deepens, and when he gains the rhythm of weekly reps? The ceiling looks higher than most dared to imagine. And that's why this story isn't just about one preseason game. It's about the start of a narrative that could reshape Cleveland's future. If you've made it this far, you clearly see the story behind the stats. So here's the deal. Help this channel grow the same way Sanders is building his career. Hit that subscribe button, like this video, and drop your thoughts in the comments. Was this performance a glimpse of the future, or just a spark? Your voice makes this community stronger, and together, we'll keep breaking down the stories that others overlook.